Should a media mogul who has been retweeting and liking far-right, extremist material, even some conspiracy theories, be allowed to buy one of our biggest newspapers? You might not have heard of Sir Paul Marshall, but he has become one of the most powerful figures in the British media, and he could be about to become more powerful still. He has long links to the British political establishment, especially the Conservative Party. Marshall is the co-founder and chairman of Marshall Wace Asset Management, one of Europe's biggest hedge fund groups. He's a very rich man. He was a Lib Dem, but he rather fell out of love with the party over Brexit and has since donated £500,000 to the Conservative Party. He has also set up the Unheard website, which seeks to promote often unorthodox conservative political opinions. It's very interested in critiquing so-called woke ideology. Separately, Marshall has put millions into GB News, which some have compared to a British Fox News channel. It has won plaudits from conservative politicians, including some the network has quite literally given their own shows to, and fans include the former Home Secretary, Dame Priti Patel.
The newest, most successful, most dynamic, no-nonsense news station, and the defenders of free speech. That is my friends at GB News. Thank you for everything that you do.
For what it's worth, GB News is currently subject to multiple Ofcom investigations. They're their broadcasting regulator for their potentially breaking broadcasting rules. So Marshall has been trying to reconfigure conservative opinion, and he could be about to become more important and bigger still in this conversation. It is said that he wants to buy the Telegraph and Spectator magazine, which are currently up for sale. These are perhaps the most important conservative or right-of-centre publications in Britain, and they are also big businesses. Who owns them potentially has huge influence over the future direction of the Tory party and much else besides. So if Marshall is in with a chance of buying them, what he might believe matters to all of us. Well, the newsagent has partnered with the anti-extremism organisation Hope Not Hate, and they have been investigating Sir Paul's online activities, and we can reveal that he has been retweeting and liking some extreme content which may well call into question from some his suitability to head up these businesses. Some background: Marshall's Twitter account used to be public. In September 2023 though, Marshall set his Twitter account to protected mode, meaning that only those that follow his account can view his activity, and he can choose whether to accept new followers. He then removed any identifying information from the profile and changed the username to Aeropagus123, which matches that of a company set up by Marshall in 2021, Aeropagus Ventures. It is around that time that Marshall's name entered the fray as a potential buyer of the Telegraph. Since then, some of the content liked and retweeted by Sir Paul has been quite extreme, especially on Islam, immigration and integration. It includes a tweet which declared that it is only a matter of time before civil war starts in Europe. The native European population is losing patience with the fake refugee invaders. While in January 2024, Sir Paul liked another tweet which warned that if we want European civilization to survive, we need to not just close the borders, but start mass expulsions immediately. We don't stand a chance unless we start that process very soon. Other tweets liked by Sir Paul included one which claims that civil war is coming, and there has never been a country that has remained peaceful with a sizable Islamic presence. Why do our leaders believe Britain would be an exception to that rule? Once the Muslims get to 15 to 20% of the population, the current cold civil war will turn hot. He then liked another tweet which said that Muhammad was one of the worst men to ever live. This isn't all. Accounts interacted with by Sir Paul's account include the far-right Britain First deputy leader Ashley Simon and the pro-Trump anti-Islam campaigner Amy Meck. Marshall retweeted a post from Meck which warned the 4 stages of Islamic conquest, which stated that Muslim immigration was a form of, quote, infiltration that would lead to the establishment of a totalitarian Islamic theocracy. While in another post, she condemned useful idiots in the church for engaging in interfaith activities with Muslims. On January the 19th, Sir Paul liked a tweet which praised Hungarian far-right leader Viktor Orbán, quoting Orbán saying he would never accept placing children into the care of LGBTQ activists. Just this week, Sir Paul appeared to retweet a tweet from far-right YouTuber Carl Benjamin with a meme which said, "God may or may not be real, but the other side is so passionate, so committed to worshipping Satan, evil, homosexuality, and corrupting children that if God wasn't real, believing in him to fend these demons off is preferable." Note the casual allusion there of evil homosexuality and corrupting children. Now, in fairness, Sopel is not a frequent tweeter himself. As we say, he just likes and retweets other material. But all of this does pose serious questions, as we say, potentially about the suitability of Sopel to buy these businesses. And given the fact that so many politicians and journalists follow his account, he has over 5,000 followers, the fact that they may have seen this material and nonetheless no one really seemed to notice it does speak to some extent of the normalization of some of these views within our society. Now, as you might expect, of course, both we and Hope Not Hate have contacted Sopel and his representatives for comment on this story. When we did so earlier this week, we did notice something rather unusual. The tweets on his account started to disappear, i.e. the tweets that he'd liked or retweeted started to go away. We asked Sopel to come on the news agents for an interview. He declined, but he did send us this statement. Paul Marshall's account is private, but is nonetheless followed by 5,000 people, including many journalists. He posts on a wide variety of subjects, and those cited represent a small and unrepresentative sample of over 5,000 posts. This sample does not represent his views. As most X or Twitter users know, it can be a fountain of ideas, but some of it is of uncertain quality, and all his posts have now been deleted to avoid any further misunderstanding. For our part, we would like to repeat our invitation to Sir Paul Marshall to appear on the news agents to discuss all of that, and indeed some of the views that on some level, via his Twitter account, he endorsed.
The News Agents. This is a Global Player original podcast.